Hello, today I'm going to show you how I made this spiral freeform crochet flower with this one right here. These two are both freeform, so they're slightly different. On this one, there's 14 small petals, and this one there's 15 small petals, so I made a larger petal at the top of this one. And then this one only has one row of reverse single crochet for its spiral part. So the spiral is still 3D, but this one has a row of single crochet and then reverse single crochets, so it's even more 3D than the first flower I made. Because this one spirals back this way and ends in the middle, you have to kind of awkwardly slip stitch up, but I think this look honestly shows off the Tunisian stitch more. So to start, I'm just making a magic ring by wrapping the yarn around my finger twice and inserting my hook. And then I'm gonna take the yarn off. I'm gonna go ahead and slip stitch and then make 2 chains and then take it off my finger, and I'll be working in the back bumps of both of these chain stitches, here and here. And I'll be inserting my hook, pulling up a loop, and then working in the next bump, inserting my hook and pulling up a loop. Then I'll work in the magic ring, insert my hook, pull up another loop, and then I'll pull through 2 loops, pull through 2 loops, and pull through 2 loops. I'm going to do this a second time here, working in the back bumps of the next stitch. So you should have 3 loops on your hook, and then work into the magic circle, have 4 loops, pull through 2, and pull through 2. And you're going to keep working like this, but then here I'm pulling up the magic circle loop a bit taller, and I keep slowly pulling up that one taller. You'll see again. Here we go. I'm inserting my hook and pulling it up tall, and then continuing just working through 2 loops. And you'll keep working like that until you have enough rows of Tunisian to close the circle. Here I'm just tightening up my magic ring a little bit so I can more clearly see how many more rows of Tunisian I need to do. So I'm inserting my hook into the back bump, into the next back bump. Now I have 3 loops on my hook, and I'm inserting my hook into the magic ring and pulling it up tall, and then going through 2 loops, going through 2 loops, and going through 2 loops. And I'm gonna continue doing that. So feel free to skip ahead if you've seen enough of this part. Okay, so I'm about ready to close my circle here. And I'm going to work in the back bumps like usual, pull up a loop, pull up my next loop, and then you see the first 2 chains we made, 1, 2, and then there's the first top of the stitch. I'm going to work into the back loop of that, pull through, and then pull through 2 loops on the way back, like we have been, just working in that loop instead of the magic ring. And I'm going to do that again in the same back loop. So you can see I made 2 rows of Tunisian crochet in that back loop, and I'm gonna do that in the next back loop, 2 rows of Tunisian crochet. And I'm gonna do that around until my spiral is as big as I want it to be. And you should do the same for your project. Here I am, and it's about as big as I want to be, so I'm gonna start decreasing on the Tunisian rows. So to do that, I'm gonna start like normal, pulling up a loop, pulling up a second loop, then working into that back loop. Then I'm gonna pull through 2 loops, and then I'm gonna pull through all 3 of those loops. So I've kind of shortened it, and here I am going again, working into the same back loop. But on this, I'm gonna work like normal and pull through 2 loops, and then pull through 2 loops. And then I'm gonna work another one into the next back loop. But on this one, I'm gonna pull through all 3. Wait, just kidding. I'm gonna pull through 2 loops and then pull through 2 loops. And then I'm gonna work another one, inserting my hook into that one back bump, pulling up a loop, going into the back loop, pulling up a loop, and then pulling through all 3 loops. And then I'm skipping 1 stitch and working into a slip stitch into the back loop of the next stitch. And now I'm ready to start spiraling back. So on this one, I chain 1, and then in the back loop of the slip stitch we just made, I'm doing a single crochet. And then on the next back loop here, yeah, I'm doing another single crochet. And these are the loops from the Tunisian rows. So I'll show you with my hook. This row of back loops is the one I'm gonna be single crocheting in around. And if you liked the pink flower from the other plain pink yarn, not variegated, then you would be doing reverse single crochet in all of these instead of doing normal single crochet. This one we're single crocheting in these loops around, and then we're gonna do a second row where we do the reverse single crochet to make it taller. So I finished doing all the back loops, and now I'm gonna work through the magic circle. I'm gonna insert my hook there, and then just put it up randomly through any of these and do a single crochet, 1 more single crochet. Then I'm gonna chain 1 and start the reverse single crochet by inserting my hook into the previous single crochet, pulling up a loop, and then pulling through 2 loops. This is a little bit tedious. Sorry I got kind of off camera. Here's a clearer shot of the reverse single crochet. So there we go. It kind of like twists around, and it makes this, I think it looks very pretty, and it's giving rose. This is definitely like an abstract crochet freeform rose, but the design was inspired by roses. And okay, yeah, I'm done with those. I decided to go ahead and start the small petals, so I slip stitched in that single crochet, and I chained 3, and then I worked 2 double crochets here. And then I skipped a stitch and slip stitch in the next stitch, and then I chained 3 again. And then I worked 2 double crochets. And then I went ahead and worked in the front loop of that stitch. I kind of skipped over one stitch, I think. All the way around, we're going to be making the small petals by chaining 3, working 2 double crochets, skipping 1 stitch, doing a slip stitch in the front loop of the next stitch. So here I am doing that. And then, yeah, you would have just started chaining 3 after that. Sorry, I skipped ahead. And I worked that all the way around, and then I chained, oh wait, here I am doing the last petal. I ended up with 15 on this one, whereas I had only 14 on the other, which, if you want it to look more like the other one, you know, you could skip, instead of 1 stitch, skip 2 stitches somewhere, just to make it an even number. You know, freeform crochet, you can kind of break all the rules. So here I chained 5, and then I skipped 2 petals and worked in a back loop, just a slip stitch randomly between those petals. So I'm just chaining 5 and then skipping 2 petals and doing a slip stitch in a back stitch that's between the other 2. I'm doing that all the way around, but because I have a uneven amount of small petals here, I'm just gonna like awkwardly slip stitch into the first chain 5 space that I made. So it's a little awkward. Definitely will not be even petals on this one. So there I am doing that. And then I work another slip stitch in there, and then I chain into the next chain 5 space. I mean, I single crochet into the next chain 5 space. I chain 1, oops, just chain 1. And then I'm starting the big petal. So I'm doing 2 double crochets, then 2 treble crochets, and then I chain 2 and do a picot stitch by inserting my hook into these 2 loops and slip stitching. And that's the first half of the petal, and then 2 more treble crochets, and then 2 more double crochets, and then a chain 1, and then a single crochet, and then single crochet and chain 1 in the next one, and continue with that petal pattern around is what I did until I got to the last one. And then I got silly and I made a slightly bigger petal, which I didn't do on the plain pink one. So to do the bigger petal, I single crochet, chained 1, and then I did only 1 double crochet. And then I did 2 treble crochets. And then I did 3 double treble crochets. So with the treble, you're wrapping it around your hook twice. With the double treble, you're wrapping around 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And you could just keep wrapping that around your hook and make a really, really long stitch, which is something you'd be doing with freeform crochet. But oh yeah, I'm making 3 of the double trebles. Just a big petal. And then I'm doing the picot stitch the same way I have been, chaining 2 and slip stitching through those 2 loops. And then continuing this with the 3 double trebles. And I kind of want this one to look like slightly behind the first bigger petal I made, so you'll see that soon. Here I am doing the double treble. And now I'm gonna go ahead and do just a normal treble. I'm gonna do another normal treble. And then I'm gonna put it down and see how it's looking. I think I want to do one double crochet before I connect these. But this pick rose is giving me an idea for another flower motif, low-key. So here I'm doing a double crochet. And then I'm gonna work behind a post of a double crochet from the first petal, and I'm gonna slip stitch it there. So here it looks like I'm working through the post of that first double crochet of the first petal and doing a slip stitch. And that's the end of this freeform spiral Tunisian rose flower. I hope you'll like this video and enjoyed watching. I'll show the original pink one I made first for comparison just a second time, in case you want to work that one instead. They're very similar, but this one definitely shows off the Tunisian stitches a little more. So here I just did one row of reverse single crochet going this way, and then I awkwardly slip stitched out here. Whoops. Out like here, like through the back of the work. It was very awkward, but you can't even really notice it. And then I did my petals, and then I did all same big petals on that one. Bye.